great minds, and you are welcome back to Learn with SOS. My name is Steve Sebastian Osu, KNUST School of Business, and today I am glad to walk you through some multiple choice questions on project manager and project team, project integration, on project management ISD 466. Before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more contents like this. Alright, let's begin with our first question. Project integration typically go through how many processes? 5, 6, 7, or 8? Now, project integration goes through 7 processes. So the answer is C, 7 processes. We go to our second question. A project charter typically contains the following except goals and objectives of the project, approved stakeholders, product requirement, assumptions, none of the above. A project charter contains all of these. So the answer is E, none of the above, because the charter contains assumptions, requirements of the product, the stakeholders, and the objectives and goals of the project. So the answer is E. We move to our third question. All the following persons can issue a project charter except DCE, CEO, general manager, or project manager. Which of the following cannot issue a project charter? The answer is a project manager, because according to the rules of project management, the charter should be issued by someone external to the project. Project manager is not external to the project. He is the overseer of the project. So it should be someone who has overall responsibility, someone external to the project. So that means the answer D. We move to our fourth question. Which of the following documents looks like a first draft of project requirement? Is it a project charter, project scope statement, work breakdown structure, or project management plan? So the answer is project scope management. Yeah, it's like a first draft of a project requirement. So the answer is B. We move to question number 5. It reads, which of the following documents is considered as the Bible for the project manager and his or her team? Is it a project charter, project scope statement, work breakdown structure, or project management plan? The answer is the project management plan. It is metaphorically called the Bible of the project manager and the team. So the answer is D. Alright, so let's move to our sixth question. And it reads like, which of the following documents provides a pictorial view of all the activities to be carried out before the project can be described complete? Is it a project charter, project scope statement, work breakdown structure, of project management plan? The answer is WBS, that is the work breakdown structure. It describes all the activities that need to be carried out in a project. So the answer is C. Alright, let's move to our seventh question. The best way to release funds in a project is before the project, after the project, in trenches, or none of the above. Now, the best way to release funds in a project is in trenches. In trenches means you will release the funds in phases. So you see, a project goes through 4 phases. So every phase you release some funds for that particular phase. So phase 1, you release funds to cater for phase 1. Then as you move to phase 2, you release another fund for phase 2. So we do that in trenches. So the answer is C. We move to our 8th question. What is the minimum specification required for a project not to cause harm to the overall project? Is it the requirements, the metrics, the benchmark, or baseline? The answer is baseline. Baseline is the minimum requirement that, or minimum specification that is required for a project, below which if you go, you are causing harm. For example, there is always a cement to sand ratio. So let's assume the cement to sand ratio is 1:3. So if you go below this ratio, that means you are causing harm to the project. If it is to be a building and the standard cement to sand is 1:3 and you make it 1:2, just imagine how the building will look like. So that's what we call the baseline. The answer is D. We move to our 9th question. A project's decision is said to be dash if the outcome of the decision could affect the project manager. As a manager, there are some decisions you have to take. So if the result of the decision can affect you and the position you hold, is it smooth, coarse, tough, or rough? The answer is tough. Yeah, tough decisions affect project managers. So the answer is C. We move to our 10th question. Which type of conflict is centered on misunderstanding about reporting relationships? So if an organization during a project, the issue about who should report to who, if there is a misunderstanding, how do we call that kind of misunderstanding or conflict? Is it personal conflict, administrative conflict, goal-oriented conflict, or none of the above? The answer is administrative conflict. It's about who should we report to. It's about the administration. So the answer is B. We move to our 11th question. Number 11. Which school of thought believes that conflict should be accepted and encouraged with controls? Traditional view, behavioral view, interactionist view, or none of the above? So according to the interactionist view, conflict should be encouraged and accepted, but it should be controlled. To them, if you can't control conflict, then don't entertain them. That's the interactionist view. We move to question number 12. Which of the following are more of what a manager should do before the project commences or begins? Responsibilities, roles, all of the above, none of the above. So the answer is roles. So roles are more of what a manager should do before the project commences. But responsibilities are more of the things a manager will do as the project begins or is ongoing. Roles are typically things before the project begins or commences. So the answer is B. Then question number 13. Which method of conflict resolution is described as win-win? Collaborating, withdrawal, forcing, or confrontation? The answer is confrontation. Yeah, it is a win-win way of settling conflict in an organization or during a project. A last but one question. The interactions between a project's processes and project groups can be termed as project communication, project cohesiveness, project collaboration, project integration. The answer is project integration. Integration is when there is an interaction between the processes in a project and the groups involved. That's where the integration comes in. So the answer is D. Then our last question of the day. We are going to describe a principle. In the phase of a transaction that yields a high return and or low risk, another transaction that yields otherwise is not worth pursuing. So which principle always go after a transaction that will give you a high return and a low risk? Is it risk aversion, economic rationality, prudence concept, or end value technique? So the answer is the principle of economic rationality, which stipulates that we always go for the transaction that will give us high returns with the lower or the lowest risk. So that is where we end today's video, and thank you very much for being here. Great minds, till we meet again. See you when I see you.